You know how on Mars Mars used to have water. They say where there is water, there is life. If they can find water on Mars, they can find water somewhere else. Because how is the universe gonna have so many planets completely uninhabitable and there's no life? I feel like there are other planets like Earth that are out there somewhere. And there is alien on other planets out there. There has to be. There has to be. If we're not alone in the universe, it won't look like what we would expect them to look like. We think aliens are these green, big-headed creatures. They probably won't even look like that on other planets. They'll probably be, I don't know, 30 feet tall and can fly. I don't know. What if there were life on planets far, far away from here? We can't be the only ones. We can't be the only ones in the entire universe that we can't be the only ones. There's like billions and billions and billions of planets out there. There has to be some trace of life out there. So it's so hot in here. You were in a horror movie, like in a 90s horror movie. How would you survive in a 90s horror movie? Because usually people in horror movies, they make the dumbest decisions. Like, what are you doing? Why are you splitting up? Stay together. Why are you going to, like, I will never understand horror movies. I love horror movies, by the way, so I love, if you watch like a lot of horror movies, you know how horror movies are. So if I were in a horror movie, I would constantly be in fight or flight mode, mostly flight mode. You are not gonna catch me staying in one place for long periods of time for the killer to find where I'm at. No! I don't know, imagine life if we could just have any type of superpower we wanted. What if it was just normal to have a superpower? You know what I mean? If I had the ability to turn invisible, fly anywhere I wanted, I can have two superpowers at the same time, right? There's no rules to this. I can be invisible and I can also fly. I want to be able to do that. Okay, I don't know the names of every superpower. I know there's super strength, invisibility, teleportation, mind reading, and flying. Did I say flying? I think I did. Most people would like the ability to read minds. I don't want the ability to read other people's minds because that's none of my business. That's none of my business what you are thinking. Like, shit, what if I were able to read your mind? I don't really care what you're thinking about. So I don't know, imagine super strength, you know? You're just going around beating people up, picking up things and throwing things. Why do you want to do that? I don't want that. I want to be able to have the ability to turn invisible or fly. You know, I know I gotta pick one, but if I were to pick one superpower, it would be invisibility. To turn invisible, yes. Wait, can you see me? Actually, I'm just gonna get up. I'm gonna get up. But if ghosts were real, I feel like that'd be crazy. Imagine if ghosts were real, right? Because I feel like at one point of our lives, we thought ghosts were real. But if they were, I feel like I'd be the one to be paranoid to go outside. And paranoid in my own house, okay? Because, you know, they could be anywhere. They could be hiding in your wall, hiding under your bed. They come out at night when you're asleep. I see why people go crazy in the horror movies when they try to tell people around them that they've seen ghosts and they're seeing them all the time, and people are like, no, you're just crazy. You sure you're getting some sleep? And like, they see them with their own eyes, but people are not believing them because they think they're crazy. And I'm like, I understand. I can kind of understand why. Because if I were them, I'd go crazy too. Like, why are you not believing me? There are ghosts in my house. If ghosts were real, I would not want to summon them. I will leave them alone. I'll leave them alone. Because if I were to summon ghosts, I would not know how to get rid of them. I wouldn't know how to get rid of them. So you see how hard it is to get rid of ghosts in horror movies. How would I react if I saw a ghost in real life with my own eyes? How would I react? I always wondered how I would react if I saw a ghost in real life. Or how long would it take me to notice that ghosts are living in my house? Yeah, hold on. Oh, I feel like being born as a human being is the worst thing that can ever happen to you. But imagine if you were born as another species. You were to be born, if you were not a human, if you were never born as a human and you were born as a squirrel, how would that be like? Because I feel like you're a squirrel. The only purpose you have as a squirrel is to find food, find shelter, maybe find a mate, and that's about it. You ain't gotta worry about bills, taxes, you ain't gotta worry about none of that. Squirrels don't pay taxes. Why can't I be a squirrel instead? Like, they probably have to deal with a lot of that. They probably have to deal with predators and other animals trying to kill them. Or if you were not born as a human and you were born as maybe a bird, like, imagine that. And I don't know, I'm not complaining or anything. It sounds like it. It really sounds like I'm complaining, right? I'm not though. But being human is great. I'm not trying to complain, but like, I don't know how it is like. I don't know how it's like being a bird. I don't know how it's like being a squirrel. Sometimes it's fun to think about. One of the worst ways to go is like being struck by lightning. Yeah, it could strike you too. Lightning can strike anywhere. I'm just playing. Nobody wants to hear me. So that's why I made this video. Oh my god, thank you for listening. Bye.